Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Are you still running your DBT transformation outside Snowflake? And what if I tell you that you can now develop, test, and run DBT project inside Snowflake without leaving Snowsight? So in today's session, I'll walk you through an end-to-end DBT project on Snowflake from setting up your workspace, connecting to Git, creating DBT project object, running models, and even scheduling with the task. So by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to take your DBT workflow fully cloud native with the Snowflake. And before we jump into the DBT project, let's just understand about the DBT core overview. You can see the diagram or the architecture where basically you will be first implementing your ENL in the ETL or ELT, and then that raw data you can apply the transformations, snapshot, test, deploy, and the documentation with the help of the DBT. And after that, the transform data you can utilize for your reporting and all. So think of DBT as the powerhouse behind the T in your ELT process. It's a tool that is going to help all the data team to transform and model the data in their data warehouse, all by using SQL. In fact, you can now even write Python model also. And when people talk about the DBT, they usually refer to the DBT code, which is going to be an open source engine. So you can use your command line to download the DBT, and you can select the adapter like Snowflake, Postgre, and Databricks, and then you can get started with that. So if you have to write a complex SQL logic, so instead of writing that with the help of DBT, you can break down your complex SQL logic into the small models, and then DBT is going to take care of everything from figuring out the right order to run your model to building them in your warehouse. DBT is going to make it easy to add test and the documentation to your data model. This even going to help you with the data lineage, so you can easily figure out that this table is created based on which table or which models. Okay, so DBT, one of the one of good feature about it that it brings the software engineer practice to analytics, so you can use version control to track changes to your data model just like a software developer would with the code. So this makes your complete transformation work more organized, collaborative, and professional. Okay, now coming to the DBT project in the Snowflake. So with the DBT project on Snowflake, you can use your familiar Snowflake features to create, edit, test, and run, and completely manage your DBT core project. As of now, Snowflake DBT project only supported the DBT core models. You cannot use your DBT Cloud Repo or DBT Cloud models. A DBT project is going to be a directory which contains your project.yaml, and along with that, all the folders like models, macros, snapshots, seeds, test, and all those things. DBT project in Snowflake is a schema level object. And when I say the schema level object means just like we created tables, stages, and the file format or a snow pipe under the schema, the same way you will be seeing the DBT project also. You can connect a DBT project object to a workspace, or you can create and manage the object independently of a workspace here. DBT project object supports Snowflake CLI command, which is going to help you so that you can use to create and manage DBT project from the command line, and that's going to help you with the CI/CD pipeline and CI/CD workflows. Now we are going to talk about the workspace. So let's just take a very quick overview about the Snowflake workspace. This workspace is nothing but a web-based IDE for the DBT project, which you can connect and sync with the Git repository. So suppose you have been working with the DBT core and now you wanted to migrate from DBT core to Snowflake, you're going to integrate that Git repository into the Snowflake, and then all these models, all these analysis macros and everything like project YAML, profile YAML, everything you will be seeing in the workspace. So it is going to be a single UI, so that you do not need to toggle from one window to another window to run your models, to run your tests, to to look into your DAX and output everything. You can look into the Snowflake workspaces. And why we should choose workspace over the dbt core? Because no extra infrastructure required, and you do not even require an external scheduler, because we can schedule with the base of the like Snowflake task only for orchestration. And monitoring also you can do in the db in the Snowsight. Okay. The Snowflake DBT project, obviously we have already configured about it, but now let's talk about the workflow overview. Although we are going to see everything in the action, so this first you will be creating a workspace, and there you're going to do the Git integrations. And for the Git integrations, you will be creating a secret, you will be creating the API integrations, and then you will be creating a repository. That repository you can create either by the UI or by executing the statement. Then we're going to deploy this project object. We're going to do the profile configurations, the deploy project object, and you will be running those transformations or models, and you can test it. And after that, you can schedule with the help of the task. So let's look at all this theory, enough with the theory, and let's look into the practicals. Let's come to my Snowflake here now, and you can see on this is dbt learn repo, the project which is already set it up, and or otherwise you can create a new workspace from the Git repository. This is your dbt project, dbt learn repo. This is the profile, and this is how you can run it. Now, one very important thing is, if your role, whatever the like default role you're using for here to run your dbt projects, you should enable the secondary role for that. This is the important part. If you are not going to enable the secondary roles, then you have to it won't allow you to execute those dbt projects. Okay. So let's do it everything from the scratch. Although you can see this is the kind of a UI it's going to be look like. Here you will be seeing the files, the changes, how you can push and pull that. If you are going to add any models and all, then you can just simply do it with the help of plus icon. If you're quite familiar with this dbt, then you know it, that how you can add the files and folder and everything. Which is very like here, the important part is the dbt profile.yaml. This profiles.yaml should be there, which is going to consist all the information about my Snowflake account. Okay, so let me just close each and everything. I'm going to start setting up from the scratch. Before that, I'm just going to show you my Git repository. This is my Git account, and here I do have this dbt learn repo. Inside that dbt learn repo, I have all these folders, and this is my dbt core models. I created a couple of months back because I've been working on now dbt cloud, and these dbt cloud models are not supported so far. So let me close in each and everything now. And here I do have these dbt projects. So I'm gonna delete these things. So I'll click and then going to delete that. Right now you see here, I don't have any workspace and any project dbt project. So the very first thing, we have to set it up the workspace. But how are we going to come to this window? So for that, you will click on the projects here in the Snowflake home page, and then you're going to click on the workspace. This is going to open this new window. And here you can create a dbt pipeline. You can open you can even write your SQL code. You can open your worksheet into the worksheets. You can run these, and these are some of the shortcuts which we can talk about into the separate videos. But now if I click on that, here we do have this dbt analytics project also. So I do have another project, and I'm going to delete this also, so that you should not get confused while setting up each and everything from the scratch. Now, if I come over here, then one project, one workspace, you can create it by this. You can click on new, and this is probably, let's say, dbt project, and then you can click on this create. When you create this workspace, this is where you can add your files. You can add new files, new SQL files, folders, and all those things. But this is not something related to the this is not like how you can basically end-to-end configure your dbt. The easiest way is, I'm going to delete it and then going to create a workspace with the help of this Git repository. So I'll click on the from Git repo. Now to connect with this, the few things which you would be requiring is the URL, the API integrations, and the secret. If you have not gone through with the part 38 of my video where I show how you can connect or how you can integrate Git with the Snowflake, then no worries, we're going to perform these basic steps. So for that, I am coming in this DBT project database, and here in the public schema, I'm creating this not I'm under the public schema only. First, I'm going to create a Git secret. To perform this Git secret, you would be requiring the username and the password. And the username is nothing but going to be your Git username, which is in my case it's data engineer 007. And then you will be requiring the password. The password you will be coming under the settings in your profile, and you have to generate a token. This come under the developer settings, and then you will be creating a personal access token, which is the classic one. I have already created, which is basically going to expire on 14th October. But I mean, here you can create a generate new token, click on classic and copy the token and paste it over here and then create it. So I created a secret called Git secret. Now I will be creating an API integration. And this API integration is going to have this API provider because I'm connecting to the Git. So this is going to be Git HTTPS API. In the allow prefix, you will be giving your GitHub dot the username. And then the authentication secret will be the secret which you created into the previous step. So I created a Git int. Now, the next part, you will be setting up a repository. To give the repository, you will be passing the secret as well as the API integrations. And this repository is nothing but going to be the which repo you wanted to connect from here. Let's say if I come and want this dbt learn repo should be there, or I just wanted to replicate this repository into my Snowflake. So I will be giving the path of this file, path of this complete git repo. So here I can replace this origin with this. And this is create or replace git repository, and there you can name it as a dbt project. But this git repository I will be creating from this workspace. So the repository URL, you have to give it over here. Just copy this. So far what we have done is we have created an API integration and the Git secret. Why? Because these two would be required during the workspace, during creating the workspace. I given a dbt learn repo and I'm making it this YouTube dbt practice. I'm going to use a Git integrations, which is Git int. That is what I have created an API integration in my previous one. And then what access database and schema you wanted to select for the secret. So you will be selecting a database that we can say dbt practice, and here I've created under the public, and inside that you have a Git secret which you have created in the previous step. I'm going to click on create. Although you can create the secret over here, then you can just pass the token name and everything. Okay, now click on create. Once you clicked on create, what it's going to do is it will be synchronizing all these folders in your workspace here. Now this is going to take some time. Why? Because whatever folder you are going to see over here, this analysis, macro, model, seeds, test, dbt project YAML, dbt profile YAML, my first repos file, first this, everything will be over here. Now look at it. Can we just verify it? Yes. Look at this, my first repos file. This is empty here. And this also, we do have this my first repo file. And this is also like when we're going to open it, this is also empty. It's a zero lines, zero. Okay. So if you want to delete it, yes, you can do that. Okay. Now, do you want to change the branch and all? So you will come under the changes. And here, the branch is here main, but you can create something, the branch over here. It's dev Vishal. So this branch I'm creating from the main. So whatever I'm going to do now, first I will be committing these changes and then I will be merging it. But it's totally up to you how you want to do it. For our learning purpose, we can probably leave it. Okay. So now coming under the models and all, I do have some of the models, some of the source.yaml file and everything I can see over there. Let me just select of my profile.yaml first. In the profile.yaml, I have given this is my default database where I wanted to, like, whenever I'm going to run my DBT models, then these DBT models will be by default created under this bootcamp database. And this schema is going to be raw layer. However, if you will open this dbt project.yaml, I'm sure you would be having a good idea about it. If not, then that also not a problem. Inside that, if you will look at it, there we do have some like this dbt learn repo. This is the database name. And inside a bootcamp, like if we do have any folder called staging, and inside that staging, if you're going to create any models, those needs to be created inside the bootcamp database. And this is the cleansing layer and how we wanted to metalize that. Okay, if you are not having a good idea about the project.yaml, please feel free to add a comment and I'll share you the entire PPT of mine from my bootcamp, and so that you will be having a great understanding of it. Let's come to the profile.yaml. So now look at it. The profile.yaml name is dbt learn repo, which is the same profile we are referring here. And look at, this is the path and all. So this is the like whatever we create a main object, that is going to be part of the project.yaml. Now we do have the staging. This staging I wanted to create because I know I don't have I have a dbt practice database inside that dbt practice. So I'll come under here in the profile, and this I'm going to replace with the dbt. And in fact, the one of the good part is that you do not need to toggle between one window to another window. You can simply go to the database explorer from the workspace only. This is going to be the database dbt practice. Then the schema, if you want raw layer, that is not a schema, but we can select a raw underscore layer. Right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select inside a raw layer, and let me go and I am going to check it. How many tables I do have. I do have this customer and the orders. These are the two tables. So I'm going to drop these tables. Okay. I guess these are in the public. Okay, so these are in the public schema. So which is we are fine. So we don't have any object inside the raw layer. Now, so I have just saved it, my dbt profile, and there I created two changes, the database and the schema. I'm coming under the DBT project. I'll show you one model created into a different database or different schema. But before that, let me just now show you how we can create any boot. Let's say this is the example, and here it's my first DBT model. This my first DBT model. You know it that we do have a config block. This config block is going to change the metallization. By default, the DBT model metallization is view, but if you are going to do this table, then it will be creating a transient table inside the database. We do have with source data, which is select one as ID, union all this, and select start from source data. And I'm sure you know it that what is going to be the object name. It's the same as this my first DBT model. Okay, same as the model. So to run it or before to execute any dbt command, you can select whether I wanted to compile it, test it, show it, list, run, build, seed, and snapshot. So all these commands which we usually perform over here, like if you will look at into my dbt cloud, we run it dbt run, dbt test, dbt dog, dbt seeds, and all those commands, which whatever we run it on your dbt, that the same command you can execute it. But you do not need to list down, like suppose if I have to mention, if I have to run any command, so what we usually run it. Okay, let's just take one moment. So we usually run it dbt seeds, or we run it dbt run and then hyphen select model name. But this time sorry, during this dbt workspace, Snowflake workspace, you just have to select the command, the operation which you want to run it, and then you will click on it, and what are the kind of a command you need to execute over there. By default this will be coming like execute with defaults, but here you can mention your commands. So suppose I wanted to compile this first, my first dbt model, so I will be running, selecting it, and then I just wanted to compile this particular model, so I would be writing my first dbt model. Okay, and I guess this one, and let me just compile it. Oh, I guess I made a mistake. So it gonna be like through an error. It will be saying that no, there's no such options and all. So here we have to. I actually make one mistake. You're gonna write as, and then my first dbt model. You will click on it and then run the compile button now. This is going to be the output of your dbt of your dbt models. The same thing, you check it over here. I mean, whenever we run any command or something like that, we get it over here. And in your dbt code also you might have seen it, that this is what the kind of output we check it over here. So this is command execution finished. I did not get any message. This is like, okay, this is has been compiled, and all these things, command execution finished. But now I wanted to run this, so I will be first switching to this compile to run model here, and click on this, and there I will be running my first dbt model, and then going to run this. So here this is going to be like a status running. You can see executing dbt project, and this status running. It's gonna show you that, just I'm sure you would be familiar with this, that okay, it's gonna list down that how many models we have, data sets, macros and all, and you can see this concurrency threads is one, and it has been created. So if I'll go under my raw layer, my first dbt model needs to be created. This is the one thing. Now what if I wanted to run all the model inside one particular folder? And second thing, you might be having this question is that, Vishal, why this dev is coming? Because in this profile.yaml, we have target mention is dev. You can add one more profile here, which is going to be your QA or the prod. And there you can mention a different account, or you can mention like different database, or anything, whatever you want. Okay, so this is why this is coming as dev only. Now moving ahead, I just wanted to execute few more things, like I wanted to run all the model inside this particular folder, and that folder is nothing but I wanted to create all these bootcamp. So in this bootcamp I have three models, and this is nothing but I'm just doing a straightforward SQL and all. I am creating few of the basic operations and taking the data from the Snowflake sample database. However, we can configure as a source also, but because this is not a DBT tutorial, so I will be like creating a separate video on that, and there you will be learning all these things. And then we do have a silver orders. Now, rather than executing one by one model, can I just execute all three model in a single shot? Then yes, for that you will be like again going to select, and there I'm going to write model stage bootcamp. So whatever your folder name, you're going to run that and click on run. And there you will be seeing, I mean, before that you can even clear the output. Now this is status is running, and we will be checking it that there should be like three models should be executed. So it's going to show you the message, the total 16 models, total 479 macros, 2 data tests and all that. And out of that, how many models got executed. Okay, so let's just wait. All right, so here you can see this found 16 model, 4 data sets, 1 of 3 start, 2 of 3 start, and 3 of 3 start, and this is success, success, success. So finish running 3 table models, and these were like SQL table models. And how these are going to be created as table, because by default it got created a view. So I'll come under this and run the show tables. And when I run this, because we were creating under the dbt practice, and you see here, these all the tables got created, but these were the transient table got created. Okay, and we know it because by default when we created dbt model, it run as a view, and if you are going to change the metallization as a table, then it will be creating a transient table. For that, you have to change the config block. I mean, you can probably, I might be using it anywhere. If not, you can just simply add the config block here and then change the the table type uh, permanent. Okay, we can change that. In fact, we can create dynamic table and all that. So this is totally up to you how you want to do it. Like, let me just show you too. Let's suppose if I'm going to create so this metalize equal to dynamic table, this is what you have to mention like that. And this is all the parameters which we create during the dynamic table. I'm not going into much of details. All I wanted to show you how you can connect your Git repo, how you can create a dbt project, dbt workspaces, and then going to run few of the commands. Now, once it is done, click on the DAG, and if you will look at it, this silver order, this one here, these are few things, few models over there. But if you will highlight this particular customer access DT, this is connected on this customer DT and access DT. So this one model is based on, like, it's a kind of a data lineage. You can check it that this one model is dependent on these two models. Okay. So you can run all those basics command. However, there would be few limitations, but because I have not explored this workspace to its full potential, so I may not be able to comment at this stage. Now, if you're going to click on that, I mean, let's suppose I'm just going to close it and I wanted to schedule these silver orders, silver line items, silver customer. Maybe I'm going to create one golden layer, and in that golden layer, I'm going to use these three models and going to combine it to create one final model. Okay, so for that you have to first deploy it. But before that, let me just give you a few information about like how can we just push it or not. So you're gonna click on the changes. There we do have a pull and the push. So these were the three deleted and three was the three modified. So it's gonna show you D, M, and A. A is for additions, D is for deletions, M for modifications. Let me just show it to you that if it is going to show you and all not. So I'm going to have like plus SQL file, and let me just call it as a golden model. Now you see this becomes A. And here when you come into the changes, you see all the DM in A. We can easily pull the changes from the Git repo, but can we push it from here? Let's just check it out. So when you're going to click on push, you have to add a commit message. So you can mention, I have modified few models based on my profile and deleted some. Just XYZ message, you're going to click on push. Once you do this push, will my changes be reflected on the window? We're going to look into this. So I'll come over here, click on this dbt learn repo. Okay, now you see this dev Vishal had recently pushes on September 16. You're going to click on compare and pull request. This is the title which you create pull request, and then we're going to merge it. And you can see that what have been added, what have been you can definitely review your changes and all. Okay, and I'm just going to merge the pull request. Now when I'm going to merge it, now in my main branch, I won't be seeing, I will be seeing this last change. So I'll come under the code there. In the models, I have one models called like bootcamp. In the bootcamp, there's a golden model. This is same what we have added over here. Okay, so that's how you can do all your Git like CI/CD from this one, which is really great, so that you can pull and push your latest changes and all. Now after that, how would I just schedule it? So you do this connect here, click on this connect, and first you have to deploy this dbt project. So you're going to deploy this YouTube DBT, and you have to select database and schema, because I told you this DBT project is nothing but schema level object. So I'm going to click on this DBT practice, and here I will be probably like choosing this anyway, let's say public schema. Okay, I'm click on it, create a DBT project you wanted to create over here. I guess I have created into a different database. So let me just change it. This is going to be YouTube Learning and practice, I guess. I don't know. Anything. Create DBT project. I'm gonna create a name. The name you can say this DBT practice, and this is Snowflake. I'm gonna click on deploy. We are deploying in this YouTube Learning public. Okay. Now deployment is successful. Once this is fine, then here after that you see there are a few options we got it over here. You're gonna click on create schedules, and the schedule name is run dbt projects. Anything, and this is nothing but going to create a task here, and how frequently you wanted to run it. Hourly at 1, and if you want to select a minute, like it's a hourly at 1 minute, and UTC, the run operations which you want run, and the profile your dev, and do you want to run an additional flag except the flame as a CLI example full refresh or something. So let me actually run is at custom. You can change this also, so it is going to be executed at like you can select your cron scheduler, and this is gonna be like it's 10:31. So let me just check it, like 33 minutes, and here we will be running as let's just run the same task, I guess. My first dbt model, or let's say anything else. Let's say silver customer. Okay. Or probably we can say this models bootcamp. Okay. And I'm going to create at 33 minutes past the hours. So next one is going to be September 63, 3:33 UTC. I'm going to click on create. Now, what you can do, you can click on the monitoring. Oh, sorry, click on the transformations. So I'll come under here, the transformation, click on the DBT projects, which is going to show you whether it's have been executed or not. This is going to be from my previous practice and all. So we'll look at it. The like as soon as it's going to be 8:33, we're going to look into it. Before that, you can just probably look into this, the catalog here. Into the catalog, we created into the YouTube Learning. Inside this schema, which is a public, I guess we selected for the public if I'm not wrong, and here you can see this is the dbt projects, and that dbt project is going to be over here. It will show you about the each and everything, the run history, it has been executed or not, no dbt run found, but the same thing you can do over there. You can monitor the same thing and all. It is going to be as similar as the task. Okay, so what is this UTC time right now? It's 3 3. Okay, so 3:05. So we have to wait for another 30 minutes. But I'm sure you got some idea that how we're gonna practice, how we're gonna like create everything and all, and then how we can change it. This is the run history, or probably if you want it, can we change it from there? Then this we do have the task here. This run dbt project task here we can change. There we can edit it. This is added 33 minutes there. You can probably mention it at 5. Save it. Or yeah, I guess let's say to make it 4 if we are, yeah, 5 only. So we make it at a 5. So in the next 1 minute it should get executed. So I'm sure you got the fair idea about the dbt workspace and the dbt project within the Snowsight. Leave your comments if anything you want me to cover in the next videos, or probably if you just want me to cover an end-to-end video on Snowflake and dbt within the Snowsight. So I will be covering a 1 hour or 2 hour long video where we will be creating everything from the scratch, like dbt models, dbt macros, and the test and the snapshot, or probably like we're gonna have it all these things in end-to-end. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you really like this video, please give a thumbs up and share with your friends. Till then, Let's just wait for another 1 minute so that this project is going to be executed also. I'm gonna come into this DBT project. Here, this is 834. As soon as it's gonna click on it, yeah, right, 35. Let's look at the run history, and you see this is executing right now. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please give a thumbs up.